The game is still going on, but the Spurs are on the verge of losing to the Clippers. It's safe to say they're not going to come back and win this game. They're down, I believe, 34 points with 3 minutes left. But I just want to talk about a few things that stood out to me. For the second time this year, it just seems to me that Victor's teammates are freezing him out. Well, actually, the last game they froze him out too for the most part until towards the end. But man, 3 games in a row, and this shit is still occurring. I have to say, as a Spurs fan, this is very frustrating, and it's aggravating to watch because I think just as even fans in general, we all want to see Victor. We want to see what he can do. We want to see him get as many opportunities to perform at a high level, just for the excitement of the game. The Spurs team is most likely not supposed to go to the playoffs anyways, but the allure of watching them this season was because of Victor, what he can bring to the table, just all the excitement. And you saw it during preseason, some of the amazing things he's able to do. But to me, the weirdest thing I would have to say is during the preseason, it seemed like the Spurs were involving Victor. They were giving him enough touches in the offensive end. But ever since the regular season has started, his teammates are just not passing him the ball from what I see. Just they are just overlooking him. They don't they will pass to another player if he's within their vicinity. I saw one play, for example, I think it was Keldon Johnson. He was at the side of the 3-point line on the side angle, and Victor had post position. But instead of passing to Victor, he does a hop pass all the way to Zach Collins to the other side of the 3-point line. To me, it was like, what the fuck? And Zach wasn't even open. He had a defender on him. So I didn't get that. To me, that was just very strange. But I've seen so many possessions like that where Victor has great positioning and they just completely ignore him, or they'll chuck up a three. Like, for example, I saw one possession where McDermott, and to me this was funny because Doug McDermott is a veteran. This guy's been in the league for a while. He just runs up, pulls up an ugly contested three when Victor's underneath the basket. Instead of passing it to him, he just chucks it up anyways. So to me, it's just really, really interesting. Like, I don't know if they have some secret pact to freeze him out, but it just seems very odd. I remember even the last game, like the box score is deceptive that it says Victor, I think, had 18 or 20 attempts, but a lot of them were rushed basically because Victor didn't feel like he was getting the ball, that he would just immediately just jack them up. So I will say, even in that last game, he didn't get many attempts until like the fourth quarter and overtime where they finally went to him. But in this game, he didn't get hardly any attempts. He had 10 attempts. So that to me is very pathetic for a guy who's the number one pick. He should have at least 16 attempts a game, I believe, at a minimum. It should be somewhere around there. But it's not happening. And one thing I've noticed on Victor, I see it from his body language. He doesn't complain, but I can see the frustration when he keeps running and he doesn't get the ball. It reminds me of like when you play even pickup basketball in the streets. You could tell when the guys you're playing with don't respect you, that you could go 3 or 4 possessions where you're in a perfect position to score a bucket and they just wave you off or they don't give you the ball. That's exactly what it feels like with Victor when I watch him play in these games. Like, he's getting great position on every possession. He's fighting to get position, and he just continues to get waved off. And I know that has to drive him crazy. I can see the looks of frustration on him. And just like on the streets, when you're not getting the ball, then when you finally get the ball, you rush it because you don't think you're going to get it back anyway, so you chuck it. And so I've seen that in this game where Victor, he took some bad shots where he just chucked it or jacked it up as soon as he could because his belief is probably like, hey, I'm not going to get this ball again for a very long time, so I might as well just chuck it up. So that to me is just very concerning, just in the sense that there's no ball movement because they keep freezing out Victor. I feel to have a great offense, you got to move it all around. And they're just not passing it to him. This team does not have natural playmakers outside of Trey Jones, who's coming off the bench. He's like the only guy I feel that can run an offense. But just it's really pathetic when you see that stuff going on. I just wonder how long this is going to last. How long will Popovich allow this to go? But if this is still going on after 10 games, it's going to get real ugly to watch, man. It's just not going to be fun to watch this at all. I'm not a fan of some of these guys, and I've been a Spurs fan for a very, very, very long time. Just to me, it's just disgusting to watch some of these guys, how selfish they are, how they're just chucking up shots. They're just not good shots. They're bad shots, and all I can do is shake my head out of frustration. Just it's pathetic to watch, and I don't have anything else to say. Just I hope this gets fixed eventually. Just I don't want to continue to see this type of basketball. Just it's not it's not aesthetically pleasing to see. So yeah,